I'm going to talk about something that I talked about before, sentience and free will and artificial intelligence, and somewhat the nature of reality. And this is the nature of reality has to do with people's beliefs to a large extent. And I know this is people will argue with me on this, but I try to suspend all my beliefs. That's a crazy thought. People have very solid, rock solid beliefs that they go for in things like religion. You believe in Christianity or Islam or Hinduism or whatever religion, the different finite pieces of each one of those religions. And everybody, when they believe things in those cases, what they do is they believe things. They just say when it's not like 50% or 99%. It's like they like to claim anyway, and maybe that's true, that they just absolutely believe what they believe. And I'm not like that at all. I sometimes envy those people. I've attempted to go in that direction, but I just don't know what the real truth about the nature of reality is. And I think a lot of what makes the reality is something to do with the your mental state, your as I say, the sentience. So you can make reality inside your head, and then there's reality outside of your head. Your inside reality can be anything that you kind of want it to be. So if you want it to be, Jesus is coming back any day now, and the world is flat, and there's we're sitting on the back of a turtle, and whatever you want to believe it is, you get to choose inside your head. And I'm not sure where the inside of your head is and the outside of your head is, where the difference is sometimes. And that's a lot of what the quantum physicists are aiming at too, because they say that man cannot, that any creatures or any under scientific Einsteinian viewpoints, nobody can go faster than the speed of light. So if you wanted to travel all the way out to distant galaxies, it would be impossible for a human being to travel that fast. Or if he did travel that fast, when he came back, there would be no Earth anymore. So if you travel inside your mind, you can make Star Trek. They hit warp drive, and they travel billions of miles out into outer space and back again, because that's all inside your mind. But now, what they're going for in this current understanding is they're talking about the sentient reality that can be created artificially. So this is a big question. If you can create machines that have computers and machinery, and it has the mental capacity or better than a human brain, then maybe then it can go to creating a new sentient reality that we won't be able to understand. They'll be above us. Well, then I heard other people talk about how maybe we can create a virtual world, that like Super Mario playing in his game, and instead of the Super Mario, we can have a three-dimensional world that they create inside the computer that you can live inside of, and possibly you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that reality and what the real reality is. I'm not buying any of that though. That we're living in the Matrix or anything like that. I'm not buying that. I think solid things are solid. They're solid, and if you can create solid matter from digital programs, then more power to you. I know that's kind of what the replicator is on Star Trek and all that. No, I was just watching a video from some guys who's saying, well, maybe our whole existence is our ancestors created us in a digital world, and they figured out the numbers necessary to replicate the human mind, and then the numbers necessary to replicate the entire universe. And they're big numbers, but they say that maybe in the future that's something that can be possible. So what we're looking at, though, is the danger of having machines become sentient. And that's a great fear. I mean, that's been something that's really been discussed a lot lately. Some of the major leading scientists in the world fear that may be the end of humanity, is when computers become sentient. Now, I argued that may never happen in the future. I argued that the part of being sentient is being alive. And there's a few people who say that's just hocus pocus magic, Why? That's just like saying, that God made us and that we're special, and you make yourself too special that way, and that it's all just a numbers thing. Human beings are just you mix a bunch of chemicals up together and spill it out, and there you got Marilyn Monroe, or whoever you want, if you know how to put it together. And it has same thing with thoughts, and same thing with sentience, same thing with the mind. Well, I understand their point of view. If it is possible to create a computer that has the same mental capacity as a human mind, a human brain, then it would have the ability possibly to be bigger than the human brain. All you got to do is double that size, and all of a sudden we're nothing but cockroaches to the machines. And the one argument people are making right now is, well, we should make friends with them. Have them understand that we, the human beings in our minds, are one and the same as they and their machine minds. Well, I don't see why the machines would think that. We rose from the apes, according to the current paradigm. We were evolutionarily evolved from the apes. We have no special affection for chimpanzees. We like them, they're cute and everything, but we are destroying their habitats, and we're putting them in zoos, and we're not giving them any special, they're just pets to us. And if they were wiped off the face of the earth, which may be a real possibility, we'd say, oh, darn, we wouldn't feel all that bad about it, because they're just chimpanzees, and we're human beings. We don't see them as very important. And I think the same thing would be if machines became sentient and more intelligent than human beings. They might like us. Who knows? They may hate us, but they might like us. But they wouldn't consider us important of any major amount, because they're them. Now, there's some things we got to consider, though. And this is something I pointed out before in my other video. But we have certain desires that are what makes us alive, and what's a sign that we're alive, and that gives us our free will, or whatever. People say we don't have free will. That's also baloney. But we have physical life desires that we're born with at the moment of our birth, and most animals have these Even simple animals have these. And of course, first of all is air, and then water, and then food, and then sex, and then some other stuff like warmth and companionship, But if we don't have one of those in that order, then we cannot survive. We'll be very severely struggling, and very hard struggle to get it. Somebody blocks up your air, you fight like crazy to breathe. Somebody, if you don't have any water, you will go a long way to search for it. And if you don't have any food, you'll go hunting in the woods with a stick, and you'll eat worms if you have to. Well, what are the desires of a machine? They have to have electricity, obviously. So if a machine actually has enough intelligence and a sentient self-awareness, then the first thing it's probably going to be looking for is electricity. So it's got to be able to plug itself into the wall or something. It's going to have to build little arms or something to make sure it's always plugged in and that its batteries are always refreshed. And then it's going to have to figure out how to generate electricity with either coal or gas or something, solar energy. It's going to have to build solar energy plants or gas energy plants or nuclear plants, and then it's going to have to maintain the nuclear plants. So that's going to be like, in order for a machine to have a sentient reality where it has to be self-sufficient to some level, then otherwise it's going to rely on us. So it better be nice to us, right? Otherwise it's going to have, well, maybe we're coming to this. That's another thing people say. They're coming up with self-driving cars now, and most of the factories have robotics, so it's replacing people in the factories. And maybe the next thing is they're going to do oil exploration. But somebody has to look at these things and design these things, and then they have to repair the machines when they break. The machines have to repair themselves. The computer. Now here's another thought for it, though. Would a computer mind be many computer minds, many individual computer minds? Because computers are somewhat linked together. We're always downloading and uploading, and we're going through the internet and going through the airwaves. And would a computer mind be one giant computer mind, or would it be many individual computer minds? Is that what we're talking about? Or maybe there'll be just like 5 giant computer minds. I don't know. But here's another thing also, is that where possibly we're going as human beings, to one giant mind? Some people think that silicone-based computers will never have the ability for processing information at the same level as a brain, because there's something to do with the heat involved in a silicone system, which after a certain amount of capacity of processing is too hot to maintain itself. And they're also talking then about something new, which would be like a biological type computer. Or the other thing that they're talking about is, having what do you call them, androids or whatever, half man and half computers. And these things are actually beginning to happen. It's kind of scary, but people are implanting diodes into their brain, and they have artificial arms that they can control with their mind and everything. And well, then you got to wonder, the next step along the way is upward. When everybody is connected, maybe they're computers connected to human beings, then there's like another level of consciousness that everybody will reach as a communal level of consciousness. I mean, I don't know. I doubt that, but that might be a possibility for the future. That's the end.